Hi, this is Steven at Classic Typewriter. Welcome to this tutorial for this little Underwood noiseless portable. In the Remington world, this is called a noiseless deluxe. But here it gets the crinkle paint, and before the 40s, what they call the Model 77, they still have metal ribbon spool covers, which are kind of nicer than the later Bakelite or plastic ones. So I'll just walk you through some of the features of this machine. On the back there are these little tab keys, and that's how you adjust the tabs. You fold this down and you pull them up and they look like this. So make sure your machine comes with these. On the deluxe version of this, there's this textured left-hand page guide. Here's a little 1 to 3 line selector. That's how you do the line spacing. This moves at 1 space. This moves at multiple spaces. And there should be a nice little ratcheting sound between where that switch flips. And there's numbering too on the body here. If you push in this button, it'll release the ratcheting of the platen. If you let it go, it'll ratchet. This is the carriage release lever. Oh, the carriage is locked here. So how you unlock it is you pull this out. Sometimes this screw in here is too tight to pull that out. It happens a lot of the time. Or it's locked out and it's too tight to push it in. When I got this, it had a lot of issues because someone had worked on it who was a beginner at working on these. So there's a little spring in here that was missing, and there's a little washer over here that was missing. Anything missing, these designs are interdependent in a lot of ways. So like this one spring not being attached in here would cause the line spacing not to work and would cause this to slip off. So like the whole machine's rendered useless. Now these have these little wire springs. You see that little wire that you'll see it if you have the machine, that allows the bell to ring. And there's one here, and there's 2 on the carriage release levers. And those are just a little bit delicate, so if those break, you'll have an issue with one of those. This releases the rollers. This is the ruler bar on top here. Red and black, and no ribbon selector, red, black, or blank. Shift lock, obviously, backspace. The tab, again, will bring the carriage to wherever those tab keys are. These have rollers inside and they move from side to side, so these are just, you have them to hold the paper down. Sometimes the rollers in here have flat spots. They'll still generally work though, as long as the rollers are feeding paper, which oftentimes when you get these, the rollers do have flat spots back here. This has new rubber on those and they won't work. In here there are these little, let's see. You see that's another version of something that holds like something thicker like a card. It'll just hold it closer to the plate and so you'll get a better type. And if you're having resistance somewhere, you can always try to release those, which, we need to improvise because these are 100-year-old machines. This folds down when it goes into the case. That's one of the features of the Deluxe that's not on the regular. And this is like touch control. People swear this changes their world, this much of a switch. For most of us, once you get fast at typing on these, you can put this anywhere and you'll hardly notice that little bit of extra tension on the spring. I said that on one YouTube video. I said, this is kind of a marketing gimmick. And someone's like, how dare you? A secretary can type really quickly and they use that. And I'm like, okay. Either way, so how you set the margin is, see that piece here, there's a button, and once you push the button you should be able to slide it back and forth. Sometimes it gets a little sticky. I'm going to remove this spinning display thing because I can't, and there it goes, because I can't type with that on there. And here we go, we have paper loaded. Did you see how I loaded it in? I set the left page guide, I loaded it into the rear. This paper is not exactly square. You generally want these on either side of the paper. Set it so that there's a basic margin. This is 10 characters per inch. You can see it's a little bit quiet, hence the noiseless. And you can see how you can get pretty fast on these. So, perfect. What I have is it's missing one eye. So you can generally go back to where you put that. And then you have, it's kind of a nice, it's a very unique type appearance once you get used to the world of typewriters. It's like a little bit more delicate than most because the reason it's noiseless is this little mechanism. It's kind of stops this before it hits here, so it's like it slows it down. The whacking against this is the loudest component of typing, so this kind of ameliorates that. Noiseless was invented in the very early 20th century, even before that, and then it got adopted by many of these models later and licensed out to different brands, etc. So this is just a beautiful 1939 typewriter. Very classic vintage appeal if you love these metal line keys like I do. This is the ribbon reversal that does it manually. There's a little switch inside that'll do it non-manually. And these have these cool, they usually don't have this, but this has a ribbon spool that fits inside there and allows these lids to go on. We sell a ribbon spool that's plastic. You can remove the middle and sit this in there, but most people wind it onto the original spools and take it off the metal or the plastic spools. Trying to think of if there's anything else to show you. If you want to see the bottom, very beautiful engineering, very resilient. One thing that often breaks is this bell ringer. This has like some kind of makeshift 3D printed feet that someone made. Cool, I'm happy with it for now. Well, I hope that helps you. Again, I'm Steven at Classic Typewriter. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.